Now on 767 News, Kenrick Tyson found guilty of murder for a second time. Police PRO confirms 16 individuals rushed to the hospital following Monday's major traffic accident, and U.S. Embassy's Jazz Quartet concert wows patrons. In Sports, Cricket Association schedules numerous matches for this weekend. Welcome to 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. Stay with us for the latest stories and developments happening across the island after this break.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Welcome back. First up this news time. For the second time, a 9-member jury have found Kenrick Tyson guilty of the murder of Cecil James between May 9th and 10th, 2009 in Concord. The jury delivered a unanimous verdict about 4:55 on Monday afternoon. In closing submissions, the prosecution, led by Shoma Dalrymple, asked the jury to pay close attention to the testimony of the accused, the then-girlfriend, Nasha Daniel, who was 15 years old and 2 months pregnant at the time of the incident. Dalrymple contended that it was the act of Tyson which caused the death of James, and he intended to kill James that night. Meanwhile, defense attorney Bernadette Lambert told the jury that the prosecution had failed to prove that Tyson had indeed caused the death of James. Lambert added that the investigating officer, Romain Riviere, should have charged Daniel as an accomplice. It should be the jury, she said, who would have to decide whether Daniel is guilty or not, and not Officer Riviere. After deliberating for over 3 hours, the jury returned with the verdict. Justice Errol Thomas ordered a social inquiry report and ordered that Tyson be sentenced on May 22, 2015. Tyson was previously sentenced to life in prison by Justice Bernie Stevenson, but that sentence was squashed by the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal in 2014, and a retrial was ordered. This is attorney Dalrymple's and Fernelia Felix's first murder conviction. Defense attorney Lambert and Wayne Noddy represented Tyson. In other stories, Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Wicks on Tuesday confirmed that 16 individuals were rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital following Monday's major traffic accident under the Canefield Cliff.
And that involved 3 vehicles. One vehicle PJ477, that's a CRV that was being driven by Larry Lazar of Bath Estate. The bus registration HB 905 driven by Dalton Shillingford, and the other HE576 driven by Carlton Williams of Wesley. And the buses were traveling in a northerly direction along the EO Libla Highway, while the Jeep driven by Larry Lazar, PJ477, was being driven in the opposite direction. That means it was traveling in a southerly direction. Apparently, this driver of this Jeep seemed to have lost control, ended up on the opposite side of the road, in other words, in the paths of the buses. He having lost control, slammed into the defense wall. There was a collision with the vehicle upon impact and went on to hit the other bus. As I said, they were traveling in the same direction.
The incident resulted in a major backlog of traffic on the EO Libla Highway. ASP Wicks said 5 individuals, including the driver of the Toyota Hiace bus, registration number HE576, Carson Williams, and the driver of the Honda CR-V, registration number PJ477, Larry Lazar, were admitted to the hospital following the accident.
In fact, 3 men who sustained broken limbs, their legs were broken, including a British citizen who lived at the Hibiscus Valley. They suffered very serious leg injuries. In fact, as I said, those were broken. And there was a 12-year-old child as well who sustained hip injuries, and both hips were injured as a result. And Jacqueline Lawrence, she was kept, according to reports, more for observation, where she has complained of very serious chest and head pains.
The other victims, which included a 10-month-old baby, were all treated and discharged from the hospital the same day of the incident. ASP Wicks said 2 of the 3 vehicles suffered extensive damage during the incident.
That tells you, that indicates how very seriously that accident, or collision rather, how serious it was. We thank God there wasn't any fatality. But the investigations have begun by the police. We've taken all our measurements, all the necessary procedures have been adopted, and we are in continuation of our investigations of this serious road traffic collision under what we call the Kinfield Cliff.
The accident occurred at about 11:45 a.m. Investigations continue. And Junior Achievement, J.A. Dominica, and the National Youth Council of Dominica, NYCD, have joined hands in continued efforts to strengthen the youth sector in Dominica. On Tuesday, April 28th, the 2 groups signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, to collaborate on initiatives geared at fostering youth creativity and innovation into the educational curriculum. Senator Josiah Benoit, president of the NYCD, speaking at the MOU signing, said the NYCD was glad to support the sustainability of junior achievement in order to spearhead the process of youth entrepreneurship.
This is a very special moment for us, because one of the 8 key objectives that was set out by this present executive board in 2013 was the establishment of an enterprise, and of course to create sustainable partnerships with our key collaborating agencies in the civil society, the public sector and the private sector. We have seen that the council has already managed to establish a strategic partnership with central government through the Ministry of Youth and the Office of the Prime Minister, and we can see the fruits of that partnership even here today as we sit in this main office, which is now funded by the Office of the Prime Minister as one of the components of that partnership.
Senator Benoit said the NYCD, however, has an even greater responsibility to ensure that the youth of Dominica grow up with a sense of what it means to be business persons and have that competitive edge in an ever-growing job market. He explained that we live in a generation where the odds of an adult being employed is 3 times higher than a young person equipped with the required educational qualifications.
With those odds stacked up against us, the council thinks it is quite fitting to rely on existing expertise that have been tested and proven the world over. That is to speak of the Junior Achievement Program, which with their skill set and the knowledge products that they have developed, we can ensure that we can pass on as many of those knowledge products to the schools across Dominica to empower these young people to go through the process of creating a company, from investing in individual shares to deciding on your product of choice and also your market of choice, and then going through all the rudiments of business.
Also speaking at the event, Executive Director of J.A. Dominica, Natasha Yeloy Labad, said the strategic alliance between J.A. Dominica and the National Youth Council will focus on 5 core areas, which will expound on the organization's main focus of financial literacy, entrepreneurship, education and skills for the workforce.
We have set ourselves up for a task at hand, and we believe that it is something that is very doable. It is realistic for us to want to succeed economically. It is realistic for us to want to educate our children about exactly what they can expect in their future, and for them to be optimistic about that, because we believe that even when we have passed on and we no longer meet the dictionary criteria of what youth is, that we would still be benefiting from the investments that we have made in youth, for youth.
As part of the agreement under the MOU, JA will be housed at the old J's building on the same floor as the National Youth Council, one floor below the Dominica Youth Business Trust's office. The agreement also includes the sharing of administrative resources to ensure maximum success of joint projects and initiatives between the two organizations. Up next, rehabilitation work on the Soufriere playing field going smoothly, and Peace Corps Primary English Literacy Project aimed at increasing student success. More details when 767 News returns. Be part of the excitement. Tune in to the Tiny Green Show every other Monday on Digicel Play TV, Channel 3.
Let's see how easy it is to play Powerball and win. Simply select 4 numbers from 1 to 30 and a Power Pick number from 1 to 5, and that's it. You have just selected your winning numbers for Powerball, or just get a quick pick and let the machine select your lucky numbers for you. Remember, Powerball is drawn every Wednesday and Saturday from 9 p.m. Powerball from the Dominica National Lottery.
Thanks for staying with us. Rehabilitation of the Soufriere playing field, which began sometime in March of 2015, is said to be progressing quite smoothly. Honorable Ian Pinard, Minister for Public Works and Ports and Parliamentary Representative for the Soufriere constituency, in a recent press release, said the rehabilitation project is a wonderful initiative for the area.
I think it's a wonderful project for the area. It's also going to protect the school. We have the school right there. So there's going to be more protection for the school and for our children. And this is also a big thing for us. You know, the Soufriere Primary School is the main primary school in the St. Max area. And, you know, it's where our children have been doing very, very well.
The project includes the construction of 155 meters of concrete box drains on the southern side of the Soufriere playing field, commonly referred to as the Brooklyn playing field. Minister Pinard said the sports ground will be transformed into a multi-purpose area, citing plans to further construct a basketball court nearby the facility.
We expect that the playing field will be in top shape. We don't expect when we have heavy rains that the banks of the drains will be overflowing anymore. So we expect this project to now enhance the playing field and to really give it the gloss that it have in the Brooklyn playing field. We also tend to transfer the basketball court and also construct it right there on the Brooklyn playing field. So we'll have this area being a playing area or the sporting area in the entire St. Max, because we only have one playing field in St. Max.
Meanwhile, Minister for Youth, Sports, Culture and Constituency Empowerment, Honorable Justina Charles, encouraged Soufriere residents to claim ownership of the project.
If we, government, spend so much money in upgrading the fields, we want to see people claim ownership and assist in maintenance of those things. And even as we do the inventory, one of our plan is to ensure that we can put strategies in place for the maintenance and upkeep of those playing fields. So definitely over the next few years, we will see improvements in quite a bit of our sports facilities across the island, but we also want to create that level of partnership with community so that this thing can really be of worth to us as a country.
The rehabilitation project contracted to Ignace Detouche is valued at $234,602.99 and is expected to be completed 10 weeks following the start date. In other stories, a number of teachers and Peace Corps volunteers on Tuesday, April 28th, commenced a 3-day workshop on primary English literacy at the Garaway Hotel. Fern Laura, Associate Peace Corps Director, said the main goal of the Peace Corps Primary English Literacy Project is to increase student success. According to her, this will take place in the form of extracurricular programs and activities and the use of library and ICT resources.
Goal 2 is that to improve teaching strategies, and that will include co-teaching and resource development with teachers. And that's why our counterpart teachers are here with us today, because they are the main part of the project that we will be embarking on. The third goal is to improve school, family, and community partnerships. And that is through school and family-focused projects, as well as increasing, wherever possible, reading at home. So the homeschool connection is also very important for the Peace Corps.
Laura said the purpose of the 3-day workshop is to empower the Peace Corps volunteers and their counterpart teachers with reading strategies and skills. She said this will aid in improving the reading abilities of students. Laura said the project is a partnership with the Ministry of Education.
The partnership takes various forms, the most significant being that the volunteers are placed permanently in schools across the various islands. Secondly, they team up with a counterpart teacher who works very closely with them. Thirdly, we use their point persons who come from the Ministry of Education who work directly with the Peace Corps. And we've mentioned those. In Dominica, it's Mrs. Badwell, and in St. Lucia, Mr. Gordon.
Laura noted the primary English literacy also aids in solidifying relationships between teachers in the Eastern Caribbean. And a free jazz concert held at the Arawak House of Culture on Monday evening certainly did not disappoint the patrons who attended. The concert, part of a 4-nation Eastern Caribbean tour to Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, and Dominica, featured American saxophonist Brent Burkhead, jazz pianist Michael King, percussionist Carol Dashiell III, and bassist Romeo Menz. In an interview with 767 News on Monday ahead of the concert, Brent Burkhead said the tour was certainly an amazing experience.
And each one has gotten better. Antigua last night, we had a real connection with the audience, and we played some things that we've never played before in a way that we've never played it before. So I'm looking forward to coming here and seeing what it's going to be tonight. This is the last day of the tour, and we're looking forward to be the best night.
Burkhead, who has been playing the saxophone for over 19 years, said although being a saxophone player is not an easy task, when you're doing what you love, it's all fun. Bassist Romeo Menz said although this is the band's first tour together, they have been playing on and off for a number of years.
The experience has been great. The audience has been very receptive everywhere we've been so far. They seem to really enjoy the music. They seem to love it. It's very heartfelt. It's very warm, welcoming. I can't ask for anything more. It's been great so far.
Menz, who began listening to jazz music from an early age, said he always gravitated towards bass guitars when playing various musical instruments. Jazz pianist Michael King said it is important that aspiring pianists or musicians work hard, as that is the key to success.
When it gets tough, keep going, you know what I'm saying, and practice makes perfect, but you'll never be perfect, so you'll be practicing for the rest of your life, and that's the beauty of this art, this craft, is that you're always growing.
Meanwhile, percussionist Carol Dashiell III said the experience being part of this tour has been a memorable one. He said the crowd participation during the tour was very important.
The music can't come alive unless we have something to react off of, just like the crowd and the audience is not going to react unless we give them something. They have to give us something back. so we can be inspired to put out even more.
The tour was part of the observation of Jazz Appreciation Month, celebrated in April, aimed at underscoring the excellence and diversity of American music. The U.S. Embassy remains committed to facilitating cultural exchange and promoting music as an educational tool, and will continue its support of the arts in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean through dynamic cultural initiatives and programs. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
I love family traditions, don't you? The fun you have when you're all together, preparing a meal that you'll all enjoy. Having the right kitchen appliances help bring it all together. And you can find them at Quartz. Appliances that give you more, fridges that keep food fresher, stoves that cook meals better. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. For small and large kitchen appliances, Quartz, bringing value home.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with cricket. Cricket action in the Dominican Cricket Association 2015 season will continue this weekend with 3 matches. In the Digicel Augustus Gregor Premier League on Saturday, May 2nd and Sunday, May 3rd, 2 matches will be played. At the Botanical Gardens, it will be Desiderata Tremors versus DCA Academy, while at the Benjamin's Park, it will be Nagico Northern Stars versus Summits. Meanwhile, in the Fortune Hotel, DCA Intermediate League on Sunday, May 3rd at Dublin, Ian Pinard Hurricanes will face Marino Blasters. In basketball, in what will turn out to be an epic game on Saturday night at Lindo Park, the Fashion 9 Falcons soared past the Signman X-Men to capture the match. A few quarrels broke out and penalties were issued as required by game rules. However, despite the hiccups and many switches in leads throughout the quarters, the Fashion 9 Falcons led 35-28 at halftime and 77-70 in the end after being down by 3 points at the end of the third quarter. Top scorers for Fashion 9 Falcons: Kewan Thomas 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals and 1 block. Edmond Williams Jr. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal and 1 block. Yannick Regis 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists and 2 steals. Meanwhile, the top scorers for Signman X-Men were Ted George 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals and 1 block. Peter Ricketts 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Joseph Hippolyte 9 points, 5 rebounds and 2 steals. And in volleyball, National Beach Volleyball representatives Kerwin George, Lincoln Revere, Jan Flora and Dion Vidal have moved one step closer to qualifying for Rio Olympics in 2016. The team traveled to Antigua last week to do battle with 10 other teams throughout the Caribbean in the Continental Cup Zonal Phase competition. After winning 4 out of their 6 matches, the guys now move on to the next leg, for which details will be announced soon. Dominica kicked off the weekend with a victory over Dutch St. Martin, but lost later that day to St. Kitts. The following day, they defeated Anguilla, French St. Martin and St. Vincent all on the same day to keep their hopes alive in a double elimination tournament. Tournament participants, players and officials stood astonished by the level of fitness and determination displayed by our countrymen, who played throughout the sunburn and cramps in the hot Antigua sun. After having played most of their matches, on day 2, Team 767 almost pulled off an upset against St. Kitts, who had beaten them earlier. Tournament winners included the usual suspects, Team St. Lucia, the winners, and Team Antigua in second. The Dominican Amateur Volleyball Association, players and executive wish to extend congratulations to the representatives and encourage them to keep up their hard work. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Kenrick Tyson found guilty of murder for a second time. Police PRO confirms 16 individuals rushed to the hospital following Monday's major traffic accident, and U.S. Embassy's Jazz Quartet concert wows the patrons. In sports, Cricket Association scheduled numerous matches for this weekend. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening and thanks for watching.